Hi, Frederik.
Hi, Kevin.
Welcome in the SPIRE studio. Today we're going to talk about a Sibelco case, a case you did together with Forward. Forward is a SPIRE member, and you built a B2B e-commerce platform with them. But before we dive into that interesting case, can you tell a little bit about who is Sibelco, who are you, what's your role in the company?
Yeah, absolutely. So for people who don't know, and that's an assumption that the entire team of Sibelco has, is that everybody knows us. But for people who don't, Sibelco is a mining company. And basically a mining company is really a company who digs something out of the ground. So what we sell is sand and minerals. In essence, we basically dig a hole in the ground, pull out the sand, and sell the sand. We treat the sand a little bit, we clean it, we wash it, and then we sell the sand to a variety of industries, like the paint industry, the construction industry, even the glass of your iPhone is made of high purity quartz, which is which is one of the industries that Sibelco is active in, and to which we provide the raw materials. So in
Interesting.
essence, Sibelco is a global player providing sand and minerals globally. Well, when I say globally, this actually means Europe, the Americas, and Asia.
And what's your role in the company, Frederik?
My role, I'm an IT business partner in the commercial area. So that means that I work in IT, but I'm actually, let's call it the collaboration, the single point of collaboration or contact for the commercial departments, which is marketing, customer service, and sales. So I typically work a lot with teams like a commercial excellence team or a customer experience team.
Yeah. And what was the challenge you were facing, or why did you start the project with Spire?
So we've done an e-commerce implementation, and basically this was a project around developing or making Sibelco digitally present. Because our leadership was given the question by the board of directors, what is your current digital roadmap? And clearly, we did not have one. So in that sense, they very gracefully turned to IT and asked, guys, please, what is our roadmap? And in that sense, we came up with a proposal to do an e-commerce project, because this is a very tangible, clear, well-defined project that you can quite easily explain to people in a board of directors. So we started off with identifying a smaller industry of ours, which is the abrasives business. And we have, well, obviously we identified an industry that could be interesting. The reason why we took the abrasives business is because there was an asbestos topic or a scandal in this industry where some of our products have been contaminated, which made us lose quite a lot of customers. So in this sense, the potential to gain back all of these customers, so the potential for this industry was quite high. So that is why we identified the abrasives business as a good, let's call it business case or a good pilot to do an e-commerce project.
Yeah. And how did you then end up with, first of all, Salesforce, and secondly, with Forward, the Spire member?
Yeah. So we have a few, let's call it backbone systems in our commercial organization, which is, well, we actually have two. One is Salesforce, which obviously, like you already said, we have our e-commerce platform currently built on Salesforce, and SAP. So at the moment when we were making a tool selection, these were basically the two large backbone tools that we were looking at. Why? Because obviously, if you have already a backbone system and a backbone system support in place, it's quite easy to just click on another module that can then be also supported under the same support environment. That was one of the big reasons to select Salesforce in this case. And the, let's call it more nimbleness, more easy way of configuring Salesforce versus SAP made us flip to Salesforce. The way we got in touch with the Spire team was, in essence, well, we heard some good things from other companies that have been working with your company, and then we had a quick chat with Kevin, who gave us actually a very good feeling. I mean, he's a very young and dynamic person, and that actually gave us quite some comfort. We had never worked with SPIRE before, so that gave us quite some comfort that actually a young dynamic team would be a perfect fit to do what you can call a quite innovative project for Sibelco.
How did that process go? Because from what I understood, you implemented the proof of concept in a very short amount of time.
Yeah, true. So we indeed implemented a proof of concept with the SPIRE team and our abrasives team. So it was a process. It was a very intensive process where we had a lot of interaction between our business and and the SPIRE team. The nice thing is that the collaboration with the SPIRE team was in a sense that they did not just implement what we asked, but they thought with us through the process. So they gave advice on experience that they had with other customers, like I would do it more, or I would build the solution more in this way or in this way. So we would not be making, let's call it, the very stupid first errors that every single company makes when you're doing a first implementation of something. So that was a very nice change compared to other implementation partners that in the past we've been working with, that just implement what you give them, and then you bounce into some, let's call it, unexpected, annoying situations.
Yeah.
So in that sense, that collaboration went super well. We had quite some workshops, a quite intensive development track, and then we deployed it with a very intensive and innovative, in Sibelco words, change management approach. So we had a very intense collaboration with all the customers that we were targeting for our pilot. So in the end, we contacted almost every single customer in our pilot group by phone. We even visited them. We sent them a cup with, we need to catch up over a cup of coffee to a little bit stir the enthusiasm with the customers. And then we gave a cake to the first customer who placed an order on the platform. And actually that went very well. So we had a 96% adoption rate in the first few months.
Yeah.
So that was insane. And we are very conscious we will never be able to keep this type of adoption rate, because we will also never be able to keep such an intensive change management approach, or an intensive change management sparring with the customer. So in our opinion, the development that we've done together with SPIRE and the change management were key to having a successful pilot in Sibelco.
Yeah, because a B2B commerce project is something totally different than a B2C project. And that's why you needed that little bit of convincing of your customers. Because how did they do that before? They just called you and say, this is my order.
Exactly right. So we have, you can call it in this industry, which is a relatively small industry. I mean, the abrasives business, I don't know, for people who don't know what it means, it's typically the companies who paint bridges, houses, whatever. So you typically need to spray these houses or bridges with a very corrosive product that basically cleans the surface, and then you can start the painting. So what very much happened is that these are mom and dad companies, like a son and a father, who paint houses. And these guys are very traditional and old-fashioned, not really they don't have an ERP system, for example. So they pick up the phone or they send us an email saying, hey, I want to order another bag or another few bags of abrasives.
Yeah.
So that was quite interesting, because actually it took some convincing, like you mentioned. These guys, some of them really liked to call to Yvonne from the customer service team. So now we had to convince them, you will not be able to do your Friday afternoon call with Yvonne. You will need to place your order in the system. So that's why we did even the first few orders. We did them together on the phone with the customers. So from that perspective, yes, for sure, a B2B customer is something quite different than a B2C environment. But also there, I believe that the SPIRE team has prepared us quite well in understanding that it was not just an Amazon platform that we were launching for guest customers.
Yeah.
Also, another example that I can give, we are opening up the platform only if you're already a customer of ours at the moment. So this means that if you're a customer, we give you access and you can see your products at your prices. You cannot log in as a guest, for example. Like if you want to shop on Nike.com, you log in as a guest and you buy shoes, whatever you do.
What about the impact on your organization? Because I can imagine that it would automate processes or has also advantages for you guys.
Indeed. And that's the next big step that actually our leadership is very keen on materializing, because at the moment our pilot is what you can call a non-integrated pilot. And that's typically what you do in a proof of concept or a pilot is you build a system, you try and test if it works, and only then you start to build fancy integrations with your backend systems like an SAP system. Now, so the next big step that we are now planning together with SPIRE, most likely, is the integration with our SAP system. So indeed, when orders come in, they immediately get posted into this SAP system, and we don't need, what we currently do, a customer service user to still funnel these orders, retype them basically into into SAP. So that's one of the big efficiency gains that we're expecting. A second part of the journey is also broadening the scope, because now we are looking at abrasives, which is a few percent of our revenue. But you would like to open up to more customers, to larger industries, so you can really leverage the investment that we've done at the moment. And these are projects that we have on the radar for the remainder of 2021 and obviously 2022 and beyond, because it's definitely not going to stop at the end of 2021.
Okay, that sounds like a very interesting roadmap coming up for you. Frederik, thank you very much for sharing your story with us.
No worries, it was a pleasure, and really looking forward to the next projects with the SPIRE team.
And you at home, thank you for watching us.